All right, so we are here on Willow Pond. It's right on the back of a cul-de-sac, which is really nice. So right now the noise is lawnmowers. So if you hear noise, it is people cutting their grass. It is not the VRE, which I don't think even runs on Saturdays. So if you really like this one, I could probably try and get back here on Monday to see if we could hear noise. I'm going to be listening for it while I'm there, but the more I think about it, I'm not sure if the trains run on Saturday. So this is a pipe stem here, but this is not your pipe stem. It's just, I'm just kind of showing the area. So I did the drive up video. Great neighborhood. Really nice. You're right near an H Mart. I love H Mart. Maybe you would too. Cute looking house. So their roof looks a little bit older. That's one thing you'll notice. But again, right, I'm not a roofer or a home inspector. Just have my two eyes out here. And, there's a couple little things like that's kind of cracked there. And that's some sort of like wasp nest. Those are not huge deals. The inspector is going to tell you to direct this downspout further away from the house. And you absolutely should. Siding here could use a power wash, but I don't see any damage. It's not sun faded. It looks pretty good. So here we will go. Let's see if we can get in this gate. Oh, here we go. Okay. This is the worst part of showings, right? Is I can never get in the yards. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Hang on. Let's pray I don't break it. I'm like literally squeezing in. Okay. So this fence is much older than some of the other fences we have looked at. That was a little sketchy. So that would be one thing, that this fence will not last theoretically for the entire time that you would own the house. So not a huge deal. This is a big lot. It looks pretty good. We have a storage shed here. There is a little boy on his bike riding by right now. He's wearing a helmet. He's super cute. He looked like he was maybe 8. So back porch area. So this is older. All right. But it does have 6x6 supports there. And those, that's the right kind of support. So that's good to see. Everything looks good. This was not built to current deck code. Okay. So the inspector is going to tell you that. It's not a big deal. That's just, they didn't build them the same way 20 years ago. So here you have this kind of like lot here. And then it's like a really long rectangle. And the lot goes all the way down there. So it's not, with the trees, it's not a lot of usable space. Like it's not as much usable space as I would have thought based on the lot size, but there is plenty of usable space. So I wouldn't take that as like a huge negative. And then here, and then let's see if we can get out this gate. There's a lot of birds underneath that deck. So, ooh, okay, this one works a little bit better, but you can kind of tell that this fence is a lot older. Now, if you didn't have little boys climbing it, it would probably last longer. So one thing to keep in mind. You're going to, inspector's going to tell you to cut those trees away from the house to keep the pests away. The siding is a little dirty over here. There's some things like this. I don't think it's bad. I'm just showing you what it looks like. That's what the home inspection is for. Definitely. So right now, the rain goes on the roof, it falls down, and then it comes out right here. And like maybe some of it gets here, but mostly it's dumping right here on the foundation. And you can tell that it's a little bit wet down there. So not a huge deal. Cement, you can do that. Concrete can take that. But you would want to redirect that so that the water doesn't hit that. This bush super close to the house, right? These are things you and Jack can do. These are things you can do. So you get a little chainsaw and you trim the tree. Not a big deal, right? So, okay. There is the exterior tour. I'm going to pause and get in the house and then we'll check out the inside. Okay, so we have come in the door here at Willow Pond. And then as you walk in, you do see the staircase right there, but nothing's perfect, right? So we have the staircase. That's actually a really great place for that mirror. Super cute light fixture here. So this is a pretty good sized entryway. You'll come in, you could put a shoe cabinet here. You do have that space, that corner there. So you could build in a little additional storage. Let's see what this is. Oh, this is the powder room. So this is really cute in here. Oh, that's not, okay. Here we go. So yeah, good sized powder room. These are hardwood floors. So these look really nice. Powder room there. All right, so we've come in the door. And then since this is kind of the colonial layout we've been looking at, we can go to that living room to the left, or we can go to this living room to the right. We're going to go counterclockwise because I'm just a little bit contrarian. So in here, we have this living room here. We have coat closet, right? So it's kind of right off the entryway. And then we have this cute little window bench here. And again, these are, these wood floors run throughout the house. So there is a transition piece there, but this is the same floor throughout the house, and it's in very good condition from what I can see. So you have this little window seat here. You have an additional closet here, so you could put off-season coats in there maybe. And then, so this room in here. So this isn't super wide. Like if you couldn't really put a TV up there because I think this is too close. You know what I mean? So they have the TV here, which not every room needs a TV. So, maybe you wouldn't use this room for a TV. Maybe this would be like the hangout room or the family game night room or whatever. But it is a pretty good size room. It has pretty molding. It is kind of like a beige, but it's more of like a yellow beige. The one on Glenbard was more of like a contemporary beige. This one's more of like an old person beige, if that helps. So 2-car garage. Smells a bit like a garage. Actually, it smells a lot like a garage. So they still live in this home. So, there's still things here. But garage looks good. And then, so here's the wood. And then we kind of go into the kitchen here. So similar kitchen. We have open kitchen, eat-in kitchen area. So this is enough space. This is not like a ton of space right here, but it is enough for a human, a medium-sized human. Beautiful cabinet color. These are a really nice color. You could update the hardware. All you need is a screwdriver, okay? Like you could update the hardware and that would really bring this up to the 21st century. This is some sort of stone. It might be a quartz. It might be a solid surface. Let me look a little bit more. I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to tell. It doesn't look like a granite. I don't know. It's either Corian or it's an old granite. I think it's a Corian. But either way, Corian's a nice countertop. So really beautiful cabinet color. This is a classic cabinet color that will never go out of style. If you put black knobs on there, this would transform this kitchen. So nice sink here. This is not the biggest sink we've looked at, but it's big enough. Decent faucet. Your window overlooks the deck there. So it's not very light in here. You probably want to make this a little bit brighter. This is not a good tasking light. So, but for tasking space, you have this right here. And actually, we do have some more lights in the kitchen. I just don't know how you turn them on. So there is a light there, and there is a light there. So one of these lights is maybe garbage disposal. Okay. Oh, perfect. So that helps a lot. That brings a lot of light to the tasking area here because, you don't want to be chopping vegetables in low light. So yeah, so the kitchen is nice. It looks better in person than it did in the photos. And I thought it looked fine in the photos, but it does look better in person. So big fridge here. Now this is kind of an unfortunate spot for the fridge, right? Because you open the fridge here and then nobody can get through behind you. But trade-offs. Dining room here is lovely. This is probably a little bit smaller than the one we just looked at, but it is big enough. So they have this table here, and then they have furniture on both sides. So you could have a slightly larger table and then maybe furniture on one side, not both. So beautiful light fixture. And then here's this other front living room. So this living room is pretty good size. It's not as big as some of the other ones, but I do think it's big enough. It's not small. So this is a very medium-sized living room, if that helps. It is more of a rectangle. And I think this one had a floor plan, so we can see, just how big it is. All right, so now we're going to go upstairs, and this is a runner. It could probably use a little bit of a cleaning. It's a very old style, but it feels like it's in good enough shape. It doesn't smell. Come up the stairs. We're going to go this way first. All right, so we're going to start here. Oh, laundry chute. Super cool. So hallway bathroom here. Very nice. Kind of classic, always be in style color cabinet. Granite countertop. Big mirror. So this is a single vanity, of course, but there's plenty of room for lots of boys to have toothbrushes. Nice shower. It's pretty. This was probably done in like the early 2000s, I would say, based on, that tile was like really popular then. So it has a fan. I mean, Nothing is wrong with this bathroom. It looks very nice. Ceramic floor. It's kind of like a peach color, I think. So there's a little bit of pink in the beige. And then we'll go here into the primary. And I know you're going to ask about that wall, so I'm going to take a look at that in just a moment. But big space in here. This is a queen size bed, but you definitely would have room for a king size bed. It would push out a little bit further, right? Because the king is a little bit longer. And so, maybe you would put the king size bed there so that it would come out to here, but that doesn't, like, you couldn't have a dresser here and a king size bed, probably. It would feel really cramped between them. So, bed placement may change based on what size furniture you have. For a queen, this is great placement. I don't know how much more narrow you'd want this to be, but there is a lot of room in here. You would probably just consider putting the bed here. So the good news is that is a cheap fake rock wall, not an expensive fake rock wall. And so I believe it is like a random, like, peel and stick tile. Oh gosh. Okay, yeah. We could have this. I will personally come over and help you take this off. And it would take, okay, but I can't make that worse. So, right, choices were made, decisions were made. That won't take long to get off, an hour max. So we have this kind of like, this is a great place for a dresser. That looks nice there. And then we have here, and then this totally could come off too. I've never known they have cameras in a house. This is cool here. This is a neat, okay, all right. I like this. Let me see. Okay. So, oh, wow. Okay, light, motion sensing light. That's premium. And huge closet, obviously, like I could do a cartwheel in this closet. I don't know where Jack would put his things, but this would be the perfect closet for you. So mirror, there's a pretty window here, and with the blinds open, you get a lot of light. So bathroom here is a bit more modest, but we have a walk-in closet and we can't have it all. So sink here. And honestly, you could put like a vanity cabinet, like IKEA has a really cute vanity here, where if you wanted to get you could put bathroom storage here and like a cute little poofy little stool. Like, it would be cute. So toilet, right? Toilet looks like a toilet. Yeah, that looks fine. That was grouted, like not super well, but I'm sure it's fine. So tiny shower. There's the trade-off. There is a light in the tiny shower. Maybe, let me see how we turn that on. Okay, so tiny shower has a light. That'll make it feel less like a tiny shower. And it's white, and the tiles go all the way to the ceiling. So those things will help it feel less like a tiny shower. I think you could, if you wanted to, this could become a full-size shower here. And I know that, you have expressed that you don't really want to do things like that. But if you did in a few years, you could do that. So I think this has the ability to turn it into more of what you're looking for if you so decided to down the road. And then this could be replaced with a normal, not a pedestal sink. So it can't be huge because the way it's placed, but you could go to a more contemporary vanity there. But you have the rock closet. Oh, it doesn't go into the closet. I mean, this is literally this has got to be from the dollar store. It's like foam. It's like packing peanuts. It's like they turned packing peanuts into rock bricks. So, yeah. I would really enjoy coming over to help you peel that off the walls. Just going to throw that out there. All right. So hallway bathroom, primary behind me, laundry chute. Ooh, nice linen closet. Okay. That's a big linen closet, and it's got a real door on it. That is nice. So this bedroom is not very wide. All right. So it's not like child abuse size, but it's not luxurious in size. This is a one-child bedroom. It does have nice carpet. The carpet appears to be in good shape. It does look older. I think everything in this house is kind of old. But, if they didn't have kids in here, then things age a lot better. So nice big closet here. You could put a dresser in here, to free up some space like they have. Like, you could have a desk. You could put a dresser in here, especially since boys don't have as much clothes, right? So this is fine. It is long enough that you have you could make it work. So, and then over here, we have this bedroom, which is very big. This is a lovely sized bedroom. 2 children could share this bedroom if that was your situation. So this is a full-size bed, but there's plenty of room and you could easily do bunk beds. You know, you could do one bunk bed here, one bunk bed here, or like a loft bed with desks or whatever. This is a large room. 2 children could share this room very easily. Nice big closet. So yeah, this one's nice. Okay, I like it. And then this room has wood floor. So oh no, it's vinyl. So the primary, let me just see. I think the primary has the same vinyl. So I think that probably they used to be all carpeted, and then yeah, so that has vinyl. Sorry, I'm trying not to move too fast to make you sick. And then this, and you know, so there is a transition here, but it doesn't look bad. But I don't think you'd really ever, I don't think it would ever really stand out to you. Now this room is enormous. So this is about the size of the primary, I would say, except for like the primary has that kind of like other hallway, you know, you go to the bathroom. So this doesn't have that. But as far as size, I take it back. This would be the bedroom that the 2 boys would share if you were going to do that. So huge space in here, ginormous closet. So this closet is like the entire wall. So, yeah, so no overhead light, right? Okay, I can send you a YouTube video. You'd have to have a bit of a sense of adventure. But you can add overhead lights to a house, and you would climb up there. Well, Jack would climb up there, and you would help him fish wires from here. I know it sounds very scary. It's not very scary, I promise. So, or, you know, you use a lamp like these people have done for like 50 years. So let's go down the stairs. Let's check out the basement. And I haven't heard any noise. So I can look and see if it's because the VRA doesn't run on Saturdays or if it's because there isn't any noise at this property. But I haven't heard anything. So, yeah, no, I've stopped to like listen and I haven't heard anything. So basement, we have the same nice carpet down the basement stairs. This is a full width staircase, unlike some of the ones we have looked at that have been very small. Oh, okay, so this feels a bit like a basement. Ooh, down here. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sure what that is. Like, is that a cabinet door? Okay, all right, this is gonna be another one, like I think the other one. So, all right, this is a basement, right? This is not like Glenbard, this is a basement. This floor will not last a whole lot longer. It was very poorly installed. So this floor will need to be replaced in the next couple of years, probably at most. This is a sticker. Yep. Okay, that's a sticker. All right. So this place is like a maze. This is going to be really out of sorts here. So I'm going to go ahead and apologize in advance for our basement tour. But this is a big room. Big room. I mean, this room has room for a giant freezer, a giant fridge freezer, cabinet, and contents in this cabinet keep with the house. What do you get if you buy this whole house? Oh, you get light bulbs. And you get, I think that's a rock wool for like a fireplace. And you get a water filter. Okay. It's a lot of light bulbs. Oh my gosh. Okay. You get more of the rock wool. I know you really want that. Really what we want are those boxes of wine, but all right. So great space in here. This would maybe not be the pool table room, but it could be if you needed it to be. It is big enough. All right, I'm going to leave the lights on as we traverse. So that was like an old doorbell chime. This is paneling painted a really ugly color of yellow. Like it's like a brown yellow. It's like literally the worst combination of brown and yellow I've ever seen. But cheap paint, I could help you paint. I don't paint very well though, so you might not want my help painting. In here we have another room that is washer dryer. This is like old linoleum. No, there's separate tiles. Okay, this is old. Who cares? It's a washer and dryer room. In here we have a wall. All right, so we have the electrical panel. Let's take a look. All right, it's older. It doesn't look like stupid old. There is some room on it. So for when you're adding those overhead lights upstairs or when the electrician is adding the lights, you do have some room on the panel. And you know, this kind of stuff, I don't know what that is. It's insulation. Insulation gets gross over time. The fact that it has some black on it doesn't mean anything bad. That is for the home inspector, not for me. But I do know that insulation changes color over time. That in itself is not alarming. Utility sink. Not sure what that is. I think it covers the drain. from something else. So, okay, there's more to discover in this basement. Oh my goodness. Okay, and here we have, so we're under the stairs now. And we have, oh, laundry chute. So this is where the laundry chute would empty. So that's pretty cool. Okay, here is the furnace, manufactured in 2016. So it's not brand new, but these last like 20 years. So even longer if you take care of it. So I would not be like, that doesn't need to be a deal breaker. It's 10 years old. They last a long time. Water heater. It's not huge. Manufactured in 2005. All right. So that one's a little bit older. I think water heaters actually last longer because they don't require as much, like there's not as much stress on them as the furnace. So great space in here if you needed more space, which I can't imagine you really would because this has a 2-car garage. But if you did, you could put a bunch of stuff under the stairs. So now I'm torn. I don't think I want to go there yet. I think we're going to find that from the other direction. We're going to keep going this way into this other room. Okay. So this is another room. This has the same crappy flooring as before. So you could get on Pinterest with the flooring. There is kind of like a desk here. This is a cool room, right? This could be the pool table room. This could be like a craft room or like a hobby room or like a Lego room or like a whatever. You've got a million kids and you need a room for a room. Exterior exit here. This is a lot of house. I'm just going to put that out there. It does need a little bit, right? Paint, and some floor. So far, this is the only floor. And I would say you've got a few years, but it will start to come up because it wasn't installed properly. So back on this side, we have the utility room, like the laundry room. We have this room, the fridge room, we'll call it. And then we're going to call it the craft room back there because I believe in you. So through here, this is, I think, where we saw the workout room. And I don't know what's behind here. I'm a little turned around. Is this like the furnace room? Oh, it's a different room. Okay, we're going to find out. Okay, so carpet. The carpet has returned. Okay, this is an ugly room. Like, I'm not going to lie. It's an ugly room. It's an ugly basement room. It's like it's from the 70s and it never left. And like they didn't even put on the wainscoting like straight. So this is an ugly room. Okay, but it's a basement room. This could be the boys' hangout room. They don't need a beautiful room in the basement. There's room for a TV. There's a light. There's a room for a giant workout room. Oh, and there's a bathroom. Okay, so powder room down here. Very nice. Half bath. Yeah, so see how these planks have started to separate? I don't know if you remember when you guys were in town and we were looking at floors, and I could tell you that after a few years, this is what happens to a vinyl plank floor that is not properly installed on a perfectly level floor and with the right underlayment. So that is what happens. You can hear it. Can you hear it? Maybe you can't hear it, but I can hear it. That is what happens. So those houses we looked at before, when I said, oh, you're a few years from that, that's what happens. This is another room. This room has a heater. Okay, that's cool. So this room, they have cut into some of these to anchor things to like studs. Oh, no, they just cut a hole so it would fit. Okay, well, so I will tell you that my drywall repair is not very good, but, I could help you with that. So we could do that. Like, that'd be fine. And it's, in a basement ceiling. But, so this is this room. So this is a 2-zone room back here. So this could be the pool table room. And then that could be the TV room. And then they'd have their own little gross basement bathroom. And then you could just shut the door to the utility room here. So it looks like there's a pocket door in here somewhere. Maybe there's not. Actually, maybe there's not. There should be, but I don't see one. So, okay, so this is a door frame here. You'd have to add the door, but you don't need a door. It's fine. So, okay, a little bit of an adventure in the basement. Oh, sorry, this video is like 9 years long, but you were interested in this house, so I wanted to show you. And it's a lot of house, so it needs some paint and a little bit more, but it is a lot of house. This is the most house we've looked at in Fairfax County in your budget. So if you want a lot of house and you don't mind some things like a basement-y basement, then this is a great option. It's on a beautiful street. I can't weigh in on the sound. I haven't heard anything. So, maybe there's just no traffic noise. I don't know. I'm going to look up the trains and see if they run on Saturday. This one probably won't last a whole lot longer, you know, so let's be decisive. If you like it, let's talk.